Now the On Your Side forecast with Chief Meteorologist Scott Dorval.
Thick smoke, poor air quality, prompting the DEQ to give us a red air quality alert, and that has put a lot of things in process. For instance, Boise schools, as I mentioned, moving all practices indoors. There have been many practices being canceled tonight, if not related with the school districts. So again, probably not a bad idea to be heading indoors when you have a system like this. Not to stay outdoors all that often. Prolonged periods of time outside could create an issue. This time lapse does not change much. Look at this. The wind is blowing, but the smoke is just locked right in the Treasure Valley. You'll see it right here. And later tonight, we'll show you this time lapse as the sun is coming down. We'll see if we can actually see the sunset tonight. Last night we could not, as it was just too much smoke around the region. Here's what's happening around the village in Meridian. The camera looking towards the Boise front. We'll zoom on in. The flags are going. You can barely see the mountains off in the distance here, but again, poor air quality. Now, some places everything varies. In McCall, the air quality getting a little bit better out there. I'll show you that coming up in a moment. In the meantime, I want to show you the smoke model. This is the U.S. forecast, computerized forecast model that shows with information from the fires and the sizes and if they're growing or not, if they're contained, with the weather mixed in and which way the smoke should go. And you run the computer forecast model, you see which way the new smoke will go. And the general plume pushing through all of Montana. Only have one fire in central Montana, but they've got a lot of smoke from Idaho fires. Certainly, we push this ahead. That's tomorrow's forecast, going all the way ahead now. And you see the smoke beginning to push towards northwest to south, but then it starts to move from south to north, and you don't see any smoke down here. This is the break that I think we could get as we head into the weekend. Some of this clearer weather down to the south may push its way to the north, and we could possibly scour out the Treasure Valley with some of that smoke, so we could have improving air quality. We're seeing that in McCall right now. In fact, take a look at what's happening in McCall. Visibility a little bit better, and it has dropped from the orange category down even to the yellow category. In some places, even in that area close to the good category. So a little less smoke, but there are fires still nearby. It all depends on that exact wind direction of where that smoke will go. So we'll get those varying amounts of smoke. But today in McCall at 81 degrees, the view from Brundage Mountain over Payette Lake, you can actually see it now. Less smoke, although you do see it in the air here, likely to settle into the valley overnight. And it could be worse tomorrow, depending on the direction of the wind. And with a northwest wind coming in, it may bring smoke from the fire to the north. And when you have that northwest wind like last Friday, you can bring that smoke from far away into the lower levels. You can actually smell almost like a campfire outside. That might be the case tomorrow in many locations that haven't seen that tomorrow as we start to get a stronger wind coming in from the north and west. Sun Valley 84 degrees, still not good visibility in the central mountains around Stanley as well. Similar stories setting up. 91 in Boise. It is heating up now. 93 in Mountain Home. And we have a fire weather watch in effect for the western Treasure Valley. Red flag warning. This is for wind for tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. That'll exacerbate fire conditions, but it will drop that temperature as well back into the 80s over the weekend. Mainly clear skies to the south. A storm track to the north, but this system right here will go by into Montana, sweeping a cold front through, and that's what will take the hot weather and bring it back down to some of the cooler weather. See that cool weather going by to the north and to the east, dropping our temperatures down to 83. We'll get some wind picking up tomorrow afternoon. So gusty winds in the Treasure and Snake River Valley up 20 to 35 miles per hour, increasing that fire danger. So the smoky sky, I think, continues for tomorrow. Northwest winds 10 to 20, increasing in the afternoon, gusting up to 30 miles an hour later in the day and stronger to the south and to the east. Cuno won't be 93 tomorrow. It will drop back into the 80s. 70s in Long Valley, and again, smoke will start to shift a little bit tomorrow because of the strong northwest wind that will move on through. Gusty winds are likely getting into the 80s in Boise County. My Magic Valley forecast for tomorrow, Twin Falls at 86, still lots of smoke around. Gusty wind out of the west, and look at this extended forecast. We cool down to 83 on Saturday, a slight chance for a break in the smoke on Sunday, but we're heating back up to 97 by Monday. The heat really roaring in with a slight chance for storms returning towards the middle part of next week, especially in Idaho's mountains, something we'll have to keep an eye on because there could be some dry lightning with that as well. There's not a lot of moisture. They're not expecting that this time of the year, and we're certainly not getting it. So it's hard to get the fires out. You just need cooler weather and hope the firefighters can gain control of some of these fires.
Yes, we need it. All of us need it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Scott. In the heat, keeping your lawn thick and green can be nearly impossible. Up next, Jim Zamzo has some tips